Talking CRM with Jeff and David, getting the best value for the whole organization from your integrated CRM and accounting systems. David Beard, CRM Principal, and Jeff Richards, Head of Training Program Development for Sage CRM, spend time chatting with customers, resellers, and others about Sage CRM in action around the globe. In this episode, we talk to Ken Schmidt from s5CRM.ca, based in London, Ontario, Canada, about their entry into the world of Sage CRM back in the early 2000s, the customers he's worked with, and how he positions solutions with integration, web self-service, and more. And it's hello to Ken, who's joining us today from London, the other one of the other ones. This one's in Ontario in Canada. Hey, Ken.
Good day. How are you, gentlemen?
We are fine. Mr. Richards, good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, David. Good afternoon, Ken. From what was a sunny London, but is now a rainy London. That's the original London here.
So Ken Schmidt joins us from a company called s5CRM.ca. He's based in Canada, if you hadn't guessed already, and he's been kicking around the Sage CRM world for a long old time. Ken, tell us more about you and how you got started and what you do.
Awesome. Great. Been in the Sage CRM world since 2005, did my CRM certification, consultant certification. Been helping customers and clients since then, mostly on the install integration base, but more recently on the development side of things, building solutions in almost every aspect of the industry.
Tell me about when you first started, because it's a while ago now. I think, you're back in the days when Jeff and I were just young people.
we were all young people back then, yes.
What got you into the world of CRM?
So I was helping out a solution company that had ACPAC consultants, now Sage 300 here in Canada. They had ACPAC consultants that were out at a client site, needed some report writing done. I was helping them with that. And one of their clients had Sage CRM, and I had never seen it before. Have a background education-wise in programming, background in database. Once I saw the Sage CRM, I thought this is a perfect opportunity to sort of venture down that road. They needed a consultant to help with that, so I got certified. And since then, helping out other solution providers, other Sage partners with their customers and their client base.
And so it's interesting you say that, saw it in the early days and the database approach to it and so forth, because that's certainly what I remember when I joined very much in the early days. The reseller you were working with then, had they been an expert in CRM or were you filling a gap for them?
No, so they're actually more of an IT type company. They brought in a single ACPAC consultant, and she had a client base. She had no idea of the Sage CRM world. She had sold it to a number of customers and didn't have any experience on the operating side of things. So she just needed help understanding it all and supporting our customers. And since then, we started growing that business. Mm-hmm. I only stayed there for about a year and then kind of went out on my own.
Talk to me a bit more about the industries you've worked with over the years and some of your favorite client stories around CRM and their uptake and what they do with it.
I have a number of different silos of industries. One of them is a fluid distribution company out of Toronto. So they deliver antifreeze and washer fluid to thousands of companies mostly around Canada. Uh-huh. So they use the application that I built for them to do ticketing, to do billing. It all integrates back into the Sage 300 side of it. From distribution, a lot of sales, a company in Chicago that does multi-million-dollar machining products. So they use that on the sales side of things and on the technical support side of things. So their service department uses Sage CRM in all the cases in that. So we've built in integration between the sales side, between the service side, the customer side. Done lots of self-service portal to allow customers to come in and get, whether it's documentation, to opening cases, to interacting with the data.
Ken, can I jump in with a question? I want to take you back to what you were saying when you started 2005. You had come from a background where you'd had familiarity with what is now the Sage 300 product. You were putting in reports essentially with the ACPAC product and then into CRM. Why is there what's the fundamental philosophical difference between, say, a CRM reporting versus the accounting reporting? Why are there two sets of parallel reporting mechanisms?
Yeah, great question. So when I first started with ACPAC, I was basically just doing crystal report writing for them. So that's where I got exposure to the 300 side or the ACPAC side. One of the customers had CRM. It uses crystal reports as well. So we started creating reports for that environment. And I said, what is this amazing beast, this amazing creature that, we can work with and play with and build around the information into a visual? And then if they need to report back on it, whether it's crystal or whatever mechanism, allow them to do that. But really there should be no difference between whether they use the accounting system or the Sage CRM system on the reporting side of things. It should all have access to all of the data, all of the information. And then, integration as well, as the system should all integrate together, whether it's from the marketing standpoint or from accounting standpoint or from, specific data about the industry. For the fluid distribution company, they deliver antifreeze. Well, it's nice to know, are we getting a storm in the next few days? So should they do something completely different based on that? Based on, do we need to deliver to one person that's out in the middle of nowhere, or can we wait 3 or 4 days based on their volume levels and that? So a lot of information being fed back into the system and that, and then reporting back on that, whether it's a visual or some sort of automated task that flags them, identifies, or if it's a crystal report.
What do you think are the underlying trends that you've seen in the evolution of Sage CRM as a tool for customers?
Well, I think integration has come a long way. Now we've got integration to almost everything. We've got marketing integration. We've got, APIs out there that we can build into and have all the information all in one spot. So I think with reference to the product itself, we store all the information in one location, but we have access to information everywhere, which is very key. So the question is where does that reside? Does it reside on the cloud? Does it reside sort of on site? It shouldn't really matter with reference to how we're integrating to everything.
Ken, I'm curious. Let me take you to that fluid distribution company again.
Yes.
When you and all the other resellers were first talking to them, did they have a concept of this whole joined up delivery of information, or have you helped them along with the picture drawing, the picture building?
Oh, I definitely helped them along with that. So they had a concept of this is the way they used to do it, and it was all paper bound, and it was very manual and very not automated at all. It even got to a point where some of the trucks had GPS units. Some of the filling tanks actually had the ability to push information back right to the system, and we didn't end up going down that road. There was just some cost factors involved, but it allowed the drivers to basically push all of the information right then and there, the real time. This is what we delivered. This is what's left in the tank. These are the conditions. We need someone to come in and repair one of these tanks. So the driver had a lot more ability to assist the customer and push information back into the system.
So one of the challenges we find both with customers and some of our resellers, present company excluded, is this picture building of what's possible. You understand the technology. How do you get customers? How do you bring them along on their journey? What do you have to do to go, here, we could build this?
Typically, a lot of my connection with the customer is through the Sage partners. So they would come to me and say, hey, we have a customer that's interested in this, or I don't actually have end customers. I have all of my customers are all Sage partners. When I find a solution, it's because a partner's introduced me and brought me into the situation. I would love to talk to everybody about their industry and automate almost every function of what they do, because it's with Sage CRM anyways, it's an area to keep all that information in one spot, and its ability to integrate to almost every other environment, every other whatever. So its integration is.
You're very keen on the concept of the integration capabilities of Sage CRM, and it's certainly something that David and I are very mindful of, and we promote in our talks, the idea that Sage CRM can integrate with anything. And a lot of the effort that we've put into the release cycle for the last few versions has been on improving the APIs, especially the REST APIs, because of the importance of cloud to Sage.
In the next episode, Ken reflects on the changes that working from home has meant for businesses investing in CRM, the extensive usage he has made of web self-service for customers,
And Jeff reflects on the rise of collaborative tools and their resonance with CRM and poses thoughts with Ken about the concept of a digital assistant.
You've been listening to Talking CRM with Jeff and David, getting the best for the whole organization from your integrated CRM and accounting systems.